So I get a lot of questions about pruning and pruning properly, and I know as a new agent and even as an older agent, you may get the same kind of questions. It still seems to be a bit of a mystery. So remember that pruning is not just a science, but it is an art. And so today we're going to address kind of both sides of those issues. So why do we prune? Particularly, why do we prune young trees? Because there's a lot of reasons to prune: to improve flowering, fruiting, to reduce the size of a plant, those kinds of things. But today we're going to focus in on young tree training. And so two of the primary reasons that we actually do young tree training is to actually reduce your costs in the long term. Because if you're pruning a small tree, you're removing small branches, and it doesn't take much more than maybe a ladder, or even you can do it from the ground. And you can do it at the time of planting if need be, and I'll address that a little bit more a little later in the series. So it can reduce the size of the wound that you have to make, and remember, pruning is wounding, so we want to be sure that we're making the smallest wound possible. So that really helps the tree. And then, as I said, if you're not removing really large trees that doesn't require a climber or a bucket truck or things like that, then you can come in and do that pruning. It costs much, much less in the long run. And the second reason is because it really helps build good structure in the tree so that when that tree gets older, it can be much more resistant to storm damage. And that's really key, especially here in the South, where we tend to have a lot of storms, a lot of rain, a lot of heavy winds. And so giving that tree really good structure is really important from the get-go. So the other thing you want to think about is, how do you minimize the amount of pruning that you have to do on any one tree? Again, that helps maintain a good budget, a good sound budget. So one of the ways we do that is select really good trees from the nursery. And to do that, obviously, I'm going to show you some trees that are really great, really high quality, that you can buy at any nursery here in North Carolina. But I'm also going to show you an example behind me of some trees that maybe aren't as great a quality, and so are going to require a little bit more managing, a little bit more pruning. Doesn't necessarily mean that you should reject them outright at the nursery, and that's certainly something to think about, making sure you have high quality plant material to start with. And so the next step we're going to do is talk about what kind of tools do you need to use in order to get a really good cut.